Hey, what's going on, man? I wanted to make part two of this quiz review. I almost forgot, man. Thanks to Xavier Kiefer. He reminded me I need to get this done. So let's go ahead and dig in. All right, number 9 right here. Number 9, we need to find the inverse. All right, trying to get this mouse to work. There we go, cool. All right, we got to find the inverse of this function right here. So the first thing you need to remember is step 1, write this in terms of y. So you have y equals 5 plus the square root of x plus 8. All right, so now that it's written as y, the second step is swap x and y out. All right, so I'm going to swap x and y. So I'm going to go x equals 5 plus the square root of y plus 8. All right, like that. Now, from here, I'm going to solve for y, isolate the y. So if you look, guys, I can't take the radical right now. I can't take the square, all right, because that's this thing right here. I can't just subtract 8. So what I'm going to do is first move this 5. So I subtract 5 on both sides. So I have x minus 5 equals the square root of y plus 8. All right. Then from there, all right, now I need to get rid of this radical right here. See, I can't subtract 8 yet to isolate that y because the square root is right there. So now I'm going to square both sides. All right, if I square this side, then I also have to square this entire side. All right. So if I square this right side, I have to square this entire side. So right here, the radical and the square root and the square is going to negate each other. And right here I have x minus 5 squared, and it equals y plus 8. Now from there, there's only one more step to do to isolate that y, and just move this 8. All right, so I'm going to do the inverse addition property. All right, or the addition inverse property, which means I can subtract by 8 on both sides. So what I end up with, final answer, is going to be x minus 5 squared minus 8 equals y. And right there, guys, there's my inverse symbol right here. All right, so y inverse equals, because we're saying the inverse, that's just the symbol right there, guys. Y inverse, right, the -1 right there, the exponent, is x plus 5 squared minus 8. There's the inverse of this function right here, okay? All right, moving on down here, find the inverse. Again, you need to write this in terms of y first. All right, so if I do that, I have y equals 5x plus 9 all over 6, okay? Now, step 2, you need to switch x and y. So x equals 5y plus 9 all over 6. And now I solve for y, okay? So the first thing I want to do here is see this 6 is in the denominator. If I multiply by 6 on both sides, this is no longer there, right? It cancels out. So I have 6x, all right, equals 5y plus 9, okay? And then from there, I can subtract 9 on both sides. So that gives me 6x minus 9 equals 5y. Lastly, I'm going to divide by 5y on both sides. Or excuse me, 5. I said 5y. Let me go back. Divide by 5 on both sides. Because I'm multiplying by 5, right? The multiplication inverse rule says I can divide by 5 on both sides. So that's my inverse, guys. My inverse of y equals 6x minus 9 divided by 5. All right, so there we go. Okay, there's our inverse. Now, right here, it says determined by composition if each pair of functions are inverses, All right, so I have f of x of g of x. If you remember what composition is, composition tells us that we can take f of g, all right, f of g of x, and we can also do g of f of x. Our composition means I'm placing one function in the other one to simplify. Okay. So for the sake of this one, I'm going to do f of x first, f of g of x, excuse me, f of g of x. All right, like that. So f of g of x means I take g and I plug it into f. All right. So right here where I have 14x plus 2, I'm going to put in place of this, guys, in place of this x right here, I'm going to put in negative 1/7. Sorry, I wrote 1/4. Don't know why I did that. Negative 1/7 plus x over 14. All right. So now what happens is I distribute the 14. So 14 times negative 1/7, guys. If you look, 14, that gives you negative 14 over 7. Negative 14 divided by 7 is going to be negative 2. All right, and then right here, 14 times x is going to be 14x. 14 divided by 14 is going to be 1x. Then I have plus 2 out here. Okay, so that plus 2. So now right here I have negative 2 plus 2. That's 0. So I'm just left with x. All right, since I'm left with x, that means they are inverses of each other. All right, but I have to check myself. Okay. I'm going to check it by doing g of f of x. All right, you have to do both, guys, on the quiz and on the test, okay? So now I'm going to place this into this function, all right, into g. So I have, let's see, negative 1/7 plus 14x plus 2 over 14, okay? So now, let's simplify this. Well, I'm going to separate this out into negative 1/7 plus 14 over 14x plus 2 over 14. All right. So when I do that, I have negative 1/7 plus 14 over 14x. That's 1x. All right. And then 2 over 7 is the same thing as, if I divide 2 by 2, I have 1. And if I divide 14 by 2, I have 7. So now I have negative 1/7 plus 1/7. Well, that's 0. So I'm left with just x. All right. Just x. So I have x for both of these, which means they are. All right. They are inverses. They are inverses of each other because I have just x. Okay. Remember, if you do not get just x, they are not inverses. Okay. All right, last problem right here. It says the height of a, oh, it's not the last problem. It's 13, 14, 15. Good night. All right, we're good. All right. Right here it says the height of a model rocket that Bart made in physics class can be represented by this equation right here, okay? And they said that what's the maximum height for sound rocket? Well, again, man, you can really take your graphing calculator and do this, okay? All right, so again, where it says negative 16t squared plus 148t. All right, we're going to put x in place of t when we put it in the calculator. So we have negative 16x squared plus 148x, okay? So now we hit graph. We're going to let this thing graph. All right, it did some of it right there. That's fine. All right, that's the parabola, but we want to look at this table. So per second graph, go to the table. All right, so then we've got to find the maximum of this thing. All right. Or, you know what you could do? All right, for the maximum, I'm going to press this right here. Trace. Oops, I'm sorry, second trace. And then see how it says maximum right here? I'll just press that, option 4. I want the maximum. Left bound. I need to move this thing up till I find the right bound. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going until I see that cursor come back down.
I just like the sound of it.
And it should be coming down in a minute now. Alright, it should be down now. Right bound. So my left bound, my right bound, I hit enter. There's my maximum right there. 4.6 and 342.25. There's the maximum right there. 342.25 feet. Alright, now, so there it says, after how long will the rocket be above 112 feet? I think I changed this on the actual review. I can't remember. Once I changed it to like 160 or something like that. Yeah, I think I did change it to 160 feet. Because I wanted to make it kind of simple. So it can be something that you can see with the calculator. No, it wasn't 160 then. I don't know what I changed it to. Alright, but anyway, 112. I'll look at 112 then. That's fine. So 112, we're gonna go back to our table. So 112, above 112 would be 20.01 seconds. Alright. So 1 second. Oops. Hey. Man, I don't know what's wrong. Alright, there we go. So 1 second. Alright. Now, this problem 13 through 15. And this will be it, man. It says right here, online you receive a promotional coupon for $12 off a polo shirt. Alright. When you arrive to the store, you find that there are 24% off all polos. Alright, let X represent the original cost of the polo shirt. So X is some value we don't know, okay? Alright, so what we do know is this. Write a function f of x that represents the effect of the promotional code. Well, if it's $12 off for the promotional code, it would just be X minus 12, right? It would be whatever the dollar amount is.
I just like this.
Alright, minus 12, right? Now, this one says write a function that represents the effects of 24% discount at the grocery store. Well, look, if I'm taking 24% off, how much of that actual price would you have to pay? Alright, so for g of x, I want you to think about it, right? If you pay 100% of the price, right, you'll pay whatever the price is. But you're taking 24% off. So if I had 100, all right, and I subtract 24 because I'm taking off 24%, well, it leaves me with 76% I have to pay. So your equation would be 0.76 of x, all right, 0.76, which is 76% of the price, whatever that price is. So 0.76 of x, okay? And now finally it says write a function that represents how much you would pay if you use the promotional coupon first, followed by the applying the discount from the store. Alright, so think about it, right? When you do order of operation PEMDAS, you do the parentheses first. Alright, so what can we put inside the parentheses to do it first? Alright, it says how much would you pay if you use the promotional coupon first? Which means X minus 12.
I just like this.
Alright, that would be first, the promotional coupon first. Alright, and then on the outside, you would do 0.76. Alright, 0.76. So basically what we did was that's f of x, that's g of x. We did we did g of f of x, okay? Alright, but anyway, man, that's it, man. That's this video, alright? So if we knew the price of the shirt, let's say the price was $97, right? Just for whatever reasons, high-end, really expensive shirt. You would just put 97 minus 12 and then find 76% of that, and that's what you would do. But I really hope this helps. See you tomorrow.